Um, yeah, man. Let's talk through like each of us, but we'll start with you.
Okay.
Why are we here? Why did you get into real estate?
No
How
clue.
did you get into real
Yeah,
estate?
no clue. Someone just told me to show up at this address, so I came today. They said there was going to be coffee on the way. So.
Yeah.
So I'll give my father-in-law credit here. So it's something he's been waiting to hear, type of thing. But so I worked, like I said, I worked in the mental health space for a number of years. Joined the family construction business. My father-in-law owns a construction company. Did that for a number of years. And we were remodeling a commercial building for him, getting ready to go back out on the road. And it was kind of his idea. He's like, you should get your real estate license. I was like, what? Why? What's a real estate agent? He's like, I'm telling you, you got the perfect personality. And the expectation was I was going to go back out on the road. We were going to start a big sewer job out in Pittsburgh, multi-year deal kind of thing. And I was finishing up that commercial building and working there for him. He said, when you go out on the road, you can, do some leases and stuff for me. And maybe, this grows into a little side gig for you. I was like, all right, well, I had no clue what a real estate agent at that point. Cause honestly, I didn't remember what the experience was like buying our house, which to me now drives me. I want people to remember the experience.
Yes.
It's one of the top 5 things you'll do in your life. Buying a house, having kids, getting married, and there's a couple other things we can put in there as far as top events in your life. You should remember what that experience is like. I don't remember. The only thing I remember is it's smelling like a funeral home in my house. My wife was like in love with this house. I'm like, I hate it. Well, she won. We moved in and the remodeling began at that point. But, asking him, well, why do you think I belong in this field? And he's like, you just have the perfect background. You got the understanding of construction, the ability to guide people in learning houses and knowing what to look for and not look for. The mental health aspect of how do we just talk to people and treat people. I think so many agents struggle with just how you talk to people, and treat people. So he's like, you've been exposed to all those things in life. You're going to be a great, great real estate agent. Well, the tough decision came the week before we were supposed to go back out to Pittsburgh. I passed my test. And I remember standing in the backyard of my house at that time. And I told my wife, I'm calling your dad, and telling him I quit basically, but in a nice, respectful way that this is what I want to pursue. And I was pacing through the yard because
Real nervous.
If you know anything about me, very much I'm about loyalty, as long as it's shown to me and given me the respect. Father-in-law has done a lot for me and my family and taught me a lot about things in life. And so that was really hard conversation. It was that difficult conversation to have was, how do I tell this man, the father of my wife, that I'm leaving the family business because I want to be at home with my family and I want to pursue this. And his response was, if anyone deserves to be home with his family, it's you. I was like, holy smokes,
Yeah.
And that's where I began. And it truly turned into, it was, to me, the perfect mix of my background, my history with working with people in the mental health space. We can talk about this for days. Real estate's its own mental health and guiding people and us dealing with that. Then the aspect of learning homes and knowing construction and the background of all that type of stuff. So to me, it's a perfect mixture of both. And it really fills my cup per se. But it was after that first transaction, I knew I was where I was supposed to be. I'm gonna try not to do this today because the last time I had this conversation, I choked up a little bit. But I can be a softie a little bit. So I was helping this woman and her daughter, maybe 12, 14 years old, somewhere in there. First transaction I ever did in real estate, successfully helped them, guided them through everything. We closed and she pulls me aside after closing and looks at me and says, thank you. But it was a different thank you. It was a very something I could feel, genuine there. And I said, you're welcome. She's like, no, you don't understand. And she starts tearing up. I was like, what do you mean? She said, you just helped me escape a domestic violence situation. She said, I never thought I was going to get out of the beatings until I met you and you helped me find a home. Now my daughter and I are safe. So little choked up, but
yeah, man.
it was there in that moment. I knew where I was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And it just got further built from there, that I'm like, I can make an impact on people's lives. Not every situation has been that. You know, there has been those difficult transactions and conversations of, you know, I said something early on that, you know, I really respect the word home and what it means to people, because it's truly where it's our cave. You know, if you think back to our caveman days, our cave is where we went to hide.
Sacred space.
We went to hide from our enemies. We went to hide from the woolly mammoth. But it's also where we, you know, as wolves, or whatever you want to look at it as our pact, we cuddled up, we joined together, and we kept each other safe, and we raised our babies, you know. And I know not everyone raises babies, not everyone has children, and that's okay. To my wife and I, that's our sacred, you know, space. It's where we raise our babies. It's where we have our laughs. It's where we have our tears. It's where we truly, you know, are in our own element, you know? And so that's what allowed me to get into real estate, and now what guides me, you know, in that space. So
Yeah, I